Hey, peace and blessings, family. Nero here. In this video, I want to continue talking with you guys about the sun and the signs. And this one, we're going to talk about sun and Sagittarius. So, yeah, with that being said, let's hop right into this, right? Now, sun and Sagittarius, this is the sun and the fire sign. Sagittarius is a fire sign, mutable to be exact, and I'll break that down in a minute. So, we got the sun and the fire sign. What does this mean? Um, a person's actions, what they're consciously aware of, is going to be focused on things dealing with the fire element. So, that means um, creativity, imagination, autonomy, spontaneity, things like that, independence for the most part, and more so how one expresses that as an individual, because that's fire. Fire and air are both the elements that deal with expression. Air is more so your thoughts in your throat, while fire is more so your feelings in your body, because fire is the polar opposite of water. They both deal with the emotions and feelings, but fire detaches from it and expresses, like I already said, and water hones in, nurtures, and likes to take care of it. So, yes. Now, hmm. Sorry about that. Uh, yeah. Now, with Sagittarius being mutable fire, and then you put in action, and then the person's actions being mutable. What this means is that Saggies can be, they can either adapt to other people's ways of expressing their creativity and imagination, to other people's ways, of, uh, people utilizing their own fire, or or within a Sagittarius' own self, they can, find different ways of, expressing their creativity and imagination, without getting too in depth with that. And so this is why they're, just explaining this with how they're able to adapt to whether it's within themselves or other people's ways of expressing. Um, where do I want to go with this? This is kind of like Gemini. This is why they're able to be from like one, you know, a one, spot to the next, and it could be with people, it could be like places, locations, things like that. It all depends. But yeah, Sagittarius and Gemini, when it comes to that, are extremely similar. But I like to you guys already know that, so I'm just gonna go ahead and move on to that. Now, yeah, that's like the easiest way to explain. That's like a service level way of explaining it. So now we put now with Sun and Sagittarius, you could say this is like Sun in the ninth house, and then I don't think I talked about how fire also deals with your imagination too. Did I deal with say imagination, creativity? If I did, I'm sorry. If I did, then my apologies, because sometimes I tend to forget things. I'm trying to work on that, but it is what it is. It'll get better. But yeah, with Sun Sagittarius, it's going to be like Sun in the ninth house. And what Sun in the ninth house means is that, already, let me explain the ninth house before I even talk about Sun in the ninth house, just, real briefly. So the ninth house is a house that deals with, it's a house that deals with philosophy, abstract thinking. And I like to compare the ninth house to the third house, which is Gemini. This is why, you'll see that similar between Gemini Sagittarius, because where Gemini third house deals with, like short distance traveling and education, but more like in the physical sense and what's familiar. The ninth house deals with the ninth house deals with all these things, but more so in an abstract sense. And when we're talking travel, like long distance. So yeah, sun in the ninth house can be like sun in the third house, but the main difference is when it's here, it's gonna be focused more on what's abstract and more of what's distant, and what's the word I'm looking for? What's not, and what's not tangible, what's unfamiliar, and things like that. So this is kind of like that. That's like how that opposition, that polarity between Sagittarius and Gemini play out, and it kind of is a. I kind of probably not wording it the best, and like I always say, if it does sound a little bit confusing, always feel free to get down in the comments and ask that, so I can clear it up for you, because I know how it's going to be in these videos. But yeah, so that's Sun in the ninth house for the most part, and I'll go deeper with that when I actually talk about planets and houses. But it'll probably be if I get there. And then yeah, with the ninth house being with the ninth house also being a house that deals with uh a house being of long distance traveling. We can also see why Sagittarius, which is ruled by the ninth house, how they can tend to be very distant at times, more so like the emotional, and it can somewhat even be a physical sense too. But I'll explain that a lot better in my other videos. I want to keep it really surface level in these videos because, yeah. Now, with Sun in Sagittarius, Sun in ninth house, the planet that rules over this sign is associated with this house is Jupiter. So Jupiter is a planet that is it's a planet of expansion, not expansion. That sounds like expunging, but expansion, abundance, growth. Knowledge, wisdom, and luck. Faith, and the part with faith, and the part with faith. It's kind of like Neptune too. Neptune is Pisces, so Sagittarius and Pisces got that little creativity and imagination faith thing going on. The difference is Pisces likes to nurture that and be they both like to be it. One likes to express that, and the other one likes to you know like be in it. Speaking of that in like a abstract sense. But if you're a Sagittarius or Pisces, or you're a Sagittarius there's no Pisces, or Pisces there's no Sagittarius, you will get what I mean with that. So don't want to get too confusing with that. But yeah, we're talking about Jupiter. When you do Sun conjunct Jupiter, and Jupiter being the planet of abundance and wisdom, expansion, things like that, it's like um, a person's actions and what they like to expand on, what they want to experience growth from, and all that is going hand in hand. Because Sagittarius ruled by Jupiter, you got Sun Sagittarius. So explaining like this is why Sagittarius Sun people tend to be very expansive when it comes to their actions. Are very broad and very distant, because with expansion comes distance. So that's a better way to explain the part with the distant. Um, and so with and then with like the and then with like the I think I lost it. Damn. Well, we'll just leave it at that. And yeah. So Sun conjunct Jupiter, like I was saying, with Sun conjunct Jupiter, a person's actions and what they and which is Sun and what they like to expand out, which is Jupiter, is hand in hand. So yeah, I'll leave it there. And so yeah, this is gonna be my short term interpretation, short term take on Sun Sagittarius. At this point in time, and if you enjoyed this, let me know. And more so importantly, if you have some criticism, some feedback, questions you want to ask, put them down in the comments, because that's what's the most important to me, is knowing how I come across to my audience, people who watch me, because you guys are what matters. You know, and everything I do wouldn't really matter without y'all. And that's how I always like to look at these videos. And that's why I like to interact with you guys in the videos, whether I'm doing it live or pre-recording it. So, yeah. But until then, we're gonna talk about Sun in Capricorn, which will be real soon. Yeah, have a good, y'all have a good morning, have a good day, and I'll talk to y'all later in that video. Peace. I love you.